Good evening and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the headlines of the day. NIA cracks down on terror funding, arrests 3 separatist leaders, Shabir Shah, Asia Andrabi and Masrat Alam Bhatt. Delhi court allows NIA their 10-day custodial interrogation in a case that relates to Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed. Post the Lok Sabha debacle, internal conflict within the Congress emerges. In Rajasthan, differences arise between Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot. In Maharashtra, Radhakrishnan Patil and Abdul Sattar quit as MLAs. In Karnataka too, the JDS Congress combined struggles to stay together. SP and BSP go their separate ways before assembly by-elections to 11 seats in Uttar Pradesh. Mayawati says Yadavs did not back her party in the Lok Sabha polls. Akhilesh Yadav also says his party will go it alone. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu underlines research based on the Vedas. Addressing students of Venkateshwar Ved Vigyan Peeth in Tirupati, says the Vedas must be translated into Indian languages to reach the common man. An Indian Navy joins the search operation for missing IAF aircraft AN-32. ISRO's satellites also being used in the search operation. Aircraft with 13 people on board went missing on Monday afternoon. The big story of the day, the National Investigation Agency arrested 3 Kashmiri separatists, Shabir Shah, Asia Andrabi and Masrat Alam Bhatt on Tuesday. The separatist leaders were sent to a 10-day NIA custody by a Delhi court in a terror funding case involving Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed. The National Investigation Agency arrested the trio during in-chamber proceedings and sought 15-day custodial interrogation. The NIA had filed a charge sheet in January 2018 against Saeed, another terror mastermind, Syed Salahuddin, and 10 Kashmiri separatists in a case of alleged terror funding and secessionist activities in the Kashmir Valley. According to the NIA, the case was registered on 30th May 2017 and the first arrests were made on 24 July the same year. Over 300 witnesses were examined during the probe. In a setback for the Congress party in Maharashtra, senior party leader and former leader of opposition in the State Assembly, Radhakrishnan Patil submitted his resignation as a member of the lower house on Tuesday. He submitted his resignation to the Speaker of the Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha. After resigning, Patil said the situation in the state has forced him to take this step. The development comes amid reports that he will be joining the BJP along with some Congress MLAs and may be inducted in the Devendra Fadnavis-led state ministry. Vikhe Patil's son, Sujoy Vikhe Patil, had switched to the BJP from the Congress ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. He won with a margin of 2.81 lakh votes from Ahmednagar Lok Sabha constituency. And remember, days after his son joined the BJP, Vikhe Patil had quit as leader of opposition in March this year.
पार्टी के अंदरूनी सभी मसले में काफ़ी उसमें ये एक अन्याय की भावना थी मेरे मन में। लोकसभा के इलेक्शन चलते हुए तो इसलिए कुछ डिसीजन लेने पड़ते हैं। तो मैं तो उसी समय मैंने एलओपी का रेजिग्नेशन भेजा था और आज मैंने जिस पार्टी से मैं चुन के आया था उसका विधानसभा का भी आज रेजिग्नेशन दे दिया है।
Along with Radhakrishnan Patil, former Minister Abdul Sattar also quit the Congress. He too is expected to join the BJP. After quitting, Abdul Sattar said the state leadership of the Congress has destroyed the party.
सर, आपने कहा कि जल्द ही और भी विधायक हैं जो टच में है बीजेपी के। कितने लोग हैं जो बीजेपी के टच में? क्या वजह है सर जो कांग्रेस के स्टेट नेताओं से नाराजगी, इनका काम करने का तरीका गलत है। इसके लिए जो राज्य के जितने नेता हैं इन्होंने कांग्रेस को बर्बाद करने का काम किया है, इसलिए हमने ये निर्णय लिया।
And rifts in the Rajasthan Congress also resurfaced on Tuesday, with two party leaders criticizing Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot for suggesting that State Unit President Sachin Pilot should take responsibility for his son Vaibhav Gehlot's election defeat. Congress MLA Prithviraj Meena and party leader Rajendra Chaudhary termed the statement by the Chief Minister totally wrong and against the interest of the grand old party. They said Gehlot himself should take responsibility for the Jodhpur seat from where his son Vaibhav lost. In a television interview on Monday, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot had said that Sachin Pilot should bear responsibility for the Congress's loss in Jodhpur, as he was the one who got Vaibhav Gehlot the party ticket from there. In the Lok Sabha elections, Vaibhav Gehlot lost to BJP's Gajendra Singh Shekhawat by a margin of 2.74 lakh votes. And troubles also mounted for the ruling combine in Karnataka, with JDS State President A.H. Vishwanath resigning from his post on Tuesday. Vishwanath said he was stepping down, accepting moral responsibility for the party's dismal show in Karnataka in the recent Lok Sabha elections. According to news reports, the JDS chief was reportedly unhappy over being sidelined and not being taken into confidence by the party on several key issues. He was also locked in a public spat in recent weeks with senior Congress leader Siddaramaiah over his functioning as the ruling Coalition Coordination Committee chief and for not preparing the common agenda for the two partners.
Both the partners of the aligned government party must be in the coordination committee. But both the aligned party state presidents are left out. They are not in the committee, And even today, the common minimum program was not drawn by the coordination committee. Because without the common minimum program to know each other, whatever the manifesto we have given in the elections, that must be reflected in the government. That has not been.
Vishwanath's resignation is the first major fallout of the Lok Sabha poll debacle for the coalition, with JDS and Congress getting a seat each out of 28 as the BJP walked away with 25 of the 28 seats in Karnataka. And the opposition Gathbandhan in Uttar Pradesh on Tuesday looked set to unravel, with BSP President Mayawati declaring her party will fight the assembly by polls alone. Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav also responded, saying he will do the same if they go different ways. In a statement 10 days after the defeat of the alliance in the Lok Sabha elections, Mayawati said she can work with the Samajwadi Party in future if Akhilesh Yadav is able to fulfill his duties. Although she added that her party's relationship with the Samajwadi Party is not going to end and she will try to ensure that their relationship stays intact.
यदि हमें लगेगा कि सपा प्रमुख अपने राजनीतिक कार्यों को करने के साथ साथ अपने लोगों को मिशनरी बनाने में कामयाब हो जाते हैं, तो फिर हम लोग जरूर आगे भी मिलकर साथ में चलेंगे। और अगर वे किसी कारणवश इस काम में सफल नहीं हो पाते हैं, तो फिर हम लोगों का अकेले ही चलना ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा।
Reacting to Mayawati's statement, the Samajwadi Party president told media persons that if the alliance ends, his party will also field candidates on all 11 seats up for by-polls.
मैं उस पर बहुत सोच समझ कर विचार करूंगा। और जब गठबंधन के चुनाव में है ही नहीं उपचुनाव में, तो हम अपनी समाजवादी पार्टी की तैयारी करेंगे। समाजवादी पार्टी भी 11 सीटों पर पार्टी से राय मशवरा कर करके अकेले लड़ेगी, उसका विचार हम लोग कर लेंगे बहुत जल्दी।
11 assembly by-polls are due in the state of Uttar Pradesh after the respective MLAs won the Lok Sabha polls, while 9 BJP MLAs emerged victorious in the just concluded Lok Sabha polls. 1 each from the BSP and the Samajwadi Party were elected to the lower house. It will also be the first time in 10 years that the BSP will contest an assembly by-poll. And with the SP and the BSP deciding to contest the UP Assembly by-poll separately, the ruling BJP ridiculed the two parties for parting ways within a fortnight after the Lok Sabha results, saying it was bound to happen as their leaders had come together only to serve their self-interest. And BJP MLA Rajesh Patnekar was on Tuesday elected as Speaker of the Goa Assembly. Patnekar defeated Congress's candidate Pratap Singh Rane after receiving 22 votes in comparison to his 16 votes in the 40-member House. The post had been lying vacant since Pramod Sawant assumed the office of the Goa Chief Minister following the demise of Manohar Parrikar in March this year. Rajesh Patnekar, who is an MLA from Bicholim in North Goa, had filed his nomination papers on Monday in the presence of Chief Minister Sawant and Deputy Chief Minister Vijay Sardesai and Manohar Ajgaonkar. Bolstering the country's infrastructure and creating jobs through small industries will be the priority for senior BJP leader and Nagpur MP Nitin Gadkari, who took charge as Minister for Road Transport and Highways and also Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Ministries today. Pratap Chandra Sarangi also took charge as MOS in the Ministry of MSME.
हमारी स्वाभाविक रूप से प्राथमिकता है कि ग्रामीण और कृषि क्षेत्र में हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा रोजगार निर्माण करें और एग्रीकल्चर वेस्ट से लेकर और हमारी गाँव में जिस प्रकार के रॉ मटेरियल अवेलेबल है उसके आधारित उद्योग वहीं के वहीं शुरू हो और उसमें बड़ा रोजगार गाँवों में रूरल एग्रीकल्चर इकोनॉमी में निर्माण हो। अर्बन सेक्टर में भी अलग अलग फील्ड को हमने रिसर्च सेंटर्स खोले हैं। उसके साथ साथ अभी हम लोग और भविष्य के नए इंडिया की जो प्रधानमंत्री की सोच है उसके आधार पर कौन से नए क्षेत्र और है जिसमें जाके हम लोग हमारा काम कर सकते हैं, इसको करेंगे।
And BJP MP from Chandni Chowk, Dr. Harsh Vardhan, took charge as the Union Science and Technology Minister today. After taking over, he said his ministry will strive to make India the top 3 scientific nation of the world by 2030.
आज के इस अवसर पर मैं पुनः प्रधानमंत्री जी को आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, अपने राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष श्री अमित शाह जी को आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, अपने सभी अधिकारियों को और अपने सभी देश के वैज्ञानिकों को आभार व्यक्त करता हूं जिन्होंने पिछले 5 साल हमें खूब समर्थन किया, सहयोग किया, हम लोगों के सपने को अपना सपना बनाया और आने वाले 5 वर्षों के अंदर हम इस सारे काम की गति को कई गुना ज़्यादा तेज करेंगे और भारत का विज्ञान के माध्यम से भी नाम और ऊंचाइयों तक लेकर जाएंगे। इसी संकल्प के साथ मैं आज ये मिनिस्ट्री में दोबारा चार्ज ले रहा हूँ।
Employment is going to be the top agenda for the Skill Ministry, said Mahendranath Pandey, the newly appointed Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship today after taking charge. He said India has a large young population and we would want to ensure that they are properly skilled in the sectors that they are working in. Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Minister Arvind Sawant also assumed office today. After taking charge, Sawant said, among the important issues before the government, employment generation will be given high priority as this subject is directly associated with his Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises Ministry. Meanwhile, Thawar Chand Gehlot also took charge as the Union Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment in New Delhi. The Election Commission on Tuesday said it will announce the schedule for assembly elections in the state of Jammu and Kashmir after the Amarnath Yatra. In a statement, the poll panel said it has unanimously decided that holding of assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir shall be considered later this year. The commission said it will keep monitoring the situation in the state regularly based on inputs from all necessary quarters. The poll panel will announce the election schedule after the conclusion of the Amarnath Yatra, which usually runs from 2nd of July to 15th of August. And time for a short break on News Tonight, but more news and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. ISRO satellites have been deployed along naval P-8I maritime surveillance aircraft to locate the wreckage of the missing AN-32 aircraft. As part of a massive search operation, a long-range maritime reconnaissance aircraft of the Indian Navy was also deployed to trace the missing craft. Already, a fleet of fixed-wing aircraft and choppers have been deployed to locate the aircraft in the mountainous terrain in the region. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has been apprised of the situation by the Indian Air Force. The Russian origin transport aircraft with 13 people on board went missing Monday afternoon, around 33 minutes after taking off from Jorhat in Assam for Menchuka near the border with China.
Today, the P-8I aircraft of the Navy also joined in the search operation. Indian Army personnel, they are doing the ground search and also joined in with the ALH helicopter. Indian Navy, I mentioned, joined in with P-8I. The local police and the civil administration are helping the Indian Air Force in all ways possible to locate the missing aircraft. So it's a difficult operation. However, we are using all our means, the electronic means, the electro-optical means, और इसको analyze करके उसके बाद हम we are going to do the visual lookout. The next, the ISRO satellites are also being used for mapping this, photographing this area, and which will be analyzed and which will be used for our further search operation. The next of kin of all the missing personnel have been informed about the search effort put in by the Indian Air Force and all allied government and civil agencies. We are in constant touch with them.
Robert Vadra appeared before the Enforcement Directorate on Tuesday and was confronted with multiple statements and paper evidences in connection with the money laundering case linked to the purchase of alleged illegal assets abroad. Vadra was shown a number of emails, banking and financial papers that are linked to him as part of the money laundering probe. Property documents pertaining to 4 alleged illegal assets were presented to him before his statement was recorded. Vadra was grilled for over 5 hours by the Enforcement Directorate. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu visited the Venkateshwara Veda Vigyan Peetham run by Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam at Tirumala on Tuesday. Addressing the students and teachers there, he said there is a need to protect, preserve and propagate the scientific knowledge contained in the Vedas. He also called for translating the Vedas into various Indian languages for the common people. The Vice President said Vedas contain knowledge of various disciplines like mathematics, astronomy, agriculture, chemistry, as well as metallurgy, and called for taking up research on the Vedas. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javakhar has said the new government will retain the autonomy of the Prasar Bharati. He said the autonomy of the Prasar Bharati is important and should be maintained. He further added that Prasar Bharati will work smoothly and bring new programs and also find new dimensions. After flagging off the newly acquired 17 digital satellite news gathering vans of Doordarshan News in New Delhi, Javakhar said Prasar Bharati should look for new avenues in the era of digital expansion. Amit Khare, the Secretary of the Information and Broadcasting Ministry, said the government has approved a 3-year plan for the development of Prasar Bharati's infrastructure at a cost of 154 crore rupees.
प्रसार भारती की ऑटोनॉमी एक महत्वपूर्ण है, वो कानून से आई है और इसलिए ये भी कानून इमरजेंसी के बाद बना। इसलिए बना कि उस पर कोई आँच ना आए और हम भी यही चाहते हैं कि प्रसार भारती अच्छी तरीके से अपना काम करे, नए नए योजनाओं को लाए, लोगों की बदलती हुई आदतों को समेट ले। और मैंने आज अभी देखा फेसबुक से लेकर ट्विटर से लेकर यूट्यूब से लेकर बाकी सभी जगह भी प्रसार भारती का विस्तार हो रहा है, डिजिटल मीडिया का भी साथ साथ उपयोग कर रहे हैं। तो इसमें भी नया आयाम ढूंढने का सभी अधिकारी प्रयास करें।
People like Mr. Javakhar, who stood up for defending our constitution and our democratic rights and went to jail at that time. Today, you see him as a minister. Over the years, you have seen him in the union government and so on, holding important positions. You don't realize what could have happened at that time. All those who went to jail, many of them didn't know whether they would ever get out in their life. That is what dictatorship is all about, and that is the implication.
Eid-ul-Fitr, which marks the culmination of the fasting month of Ramzan, will be celebrated across the country on Wednesday as the moon was sighted Tuesday evening here in Delhi. Eid is being celebrated in the Gulf countries like UAE, Saudi Arabia and Qatar on the 4th of June. The festival symbolizes peace and brotherhood. It is marked with feasts, and the faithful offer prayers at mosques around the country and Eidgahs to seek blessings of the divine. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has greeted people on the eve of Eid-ul-Fitr. In his message, he said, Eid-ul-Fitr marks the culmination of the holy month of Ramzan. It is a celebration of sincere devotion, charity, brotherhood, and gratitude to the Almighty. He also said that the essence of the festival lies in sharing love and joy with each other. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair the 5th meeting of Niti Aayog's Governing Council on the 15th of June. He will discuss various issues concerning water management, agriculture and security. The council, which is the apex body of Niti Aayog, includes all chief ministers, lieutenant governors of union territories, several union ministers and senior government officials. This will be the first governing council meeting under the new Modi government. And on to some weather news now. Due to prevailing heat wave conditions across the country, the Health Ministry has issued a health advisory for people to stay safe during the heat wave conditions prevailing in large parts of India. Currently, heat wave conditions are prevailing over the parts of North India. States like Rajasthan, Haryana, Delhi, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh are recording soaring temperatures. And all to all the updates from the ongoing ICC World Cup. And India will begin their World Cup campaign as they take on South Africa in the 8th match of ICC Cricket World Cup 2019 tomorrow. Virat Kohli will lead India against South Africa in their World Cup opener on Wednesday. South Africa's confidence will be at its lowest following back-to-back defeats against England and Bangladesh. Mentored by Dhoni and led by Kohli, the men in blue have had their share of good results, and 6 wins in 9 games would ensure a smooth passage into the semi-finals.
Firstly, we're very happy that finally we're going to start playing. It's been a while since we've been here. A very talented, very dangerous side on their day, and even with the replacements, they would be a very strong side. So we never take anyone lightly, and whether a few key players get injured or not, if a youngster is stepping in and he has the right mindset, he can really perform on the day. So I think we need to maintain respect for that and really approach the game focusing on our strengths and what we can do as a side.
So we wish the men in blue all the very best as they begin their World Cup campaign tomorrow. That's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you very much for your time.